Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Taya and this is my office. A couple weeks back I made a poll on my community tab asking which theme you would like me to create a set of mood boards for, and you guys chose Coffee Core, which I am really excited about. It's an imaginary island. I most likely won't be creating this island, but after putting so much time into creating this video, it might very well be an island that I create in the future. Either way, I wanted to give you some fall inspiration with this island theme, and it's no wonder that everybody chose it because that is the season that we are just coming up upon. First, we're going to look at Pinterest. We're also going to explore all the items in the game that would be best suited for this theme. We're going to look at villagers. I'm going to give you a list of over 20 villagers to choose from and show my top 10 picks for the island. We're going to do a whole map design. We're going to do some IRL inspo and a color palette and then kind of tie it all together. And I'm going to enjoy this cozy coffee while I talk to you about this island plan that I've spent so much time working on. So here are a couple examples of the coffee theme in action that I wanted to share with you. Of course, Pearl is like perfection for this theme, definitely. But we also have like a fake building kind of situation going on here. Some cute little wooden tables, the cream and sugar item, all of this just makes it feel so cozy and like relaxing. Here is another cute inspo pic. It's more college core, but I really feel like it embodies that fall coffee culture kind of vibe. This one, the Brewster's Roost logo emblazoned on everything, which I adore. We also have a coffee truck, which I think would be a really cute build idea that we'll get into more later. I like a river down the middle of the canal, but I also love this as an alternative to put some trees down the middle, and I think it feels really cozy and town-like. I kind of want this to feel like kind of a university town, but also kind of just like a place where people live and work. So there's people who are studying, there are people who are in school, there are people who are working. I also picked out some choice outfits that might be cute for that fall aesthetic. I also found a couple of Starbucks alternative logos. So as you can see, the color palette is very autumnal, but I want there to be a lot of pops of green, because coffee really does have that aesthetic of like red and green with autumn colors. So after collecting all of these inspo picks, I went through and picked apart some of the items that were more commonly being used in these builds. I went to Nookazon and I searched a bunch of different items that I found in those builds that I saw on Pinterest, then downloaded the PNGs and brought them into Photoshop to collage them together. I wanted to have like a little bit of that Moroccan furniture to just jazz it up a little bit. And of course, the pops of red. These two coffee bag customizations, they were a huge inspiration for this whole build. Even just the Brewster's Roost logo with the red cup and the green background, very like Starbucks-esque. A lot later in this process, I went through and gathered images from real life as like a real life inspiration mood board. And the main thing that really stood out to me was this. And this is basically the color scheme that I came up with for this island, which are all the colors that coffee kind of experiences. These bright highlighter green leaves, these red cherries, these coffee cherries. And then when they're the beans, they go from being green to darker and darker and darker in roast color. It all worked out. The next thing that I did was go through and discover all of the many villagers that would work for this theme. As you can see, we've got a lot of green babies. That is largely due to Jitters because he is such a bright green color, and I knew Jitters was going to be like one of the #1 dreamies for this island, this imaginary island. So with that in mind, I also found Charlize, which would work so well on this island. I am obsessed with her highlighter green. I'm talking about this as if I'm actually making the island, but this is just hypothetical island planning. Of all of the villagers that were on that big list, here are my narrowing it down to the 10 villagers I would ideally have on this island. So for the lazy baby, I've chosen Weber, who just has kind of like a more serious look and a more neutral color palette than a lot of the lazy villagers. Grizzly, I've had him before. He's amazing. His house is the perfect color for this island. Charlize, of course. Jacques, who has that like edgy hipster coffee vibe. Anacotti, I think, is perfect. I loved having her on Wabi Sabi for the time that I did, but I didn't get to hang on to her. Jitters, of course. Then we have Bee and Sylvana being the normal villagers, and I think that they're just so perfect and cutesy cappuccino latte vibes. And then for this Snooties, I thought Timbra was literally perfect because her house is awesome for this theme, and also Opal, because Opal is such a mood. I love her. I love the elephants, and I haven't had an elephant in a while, so these are the villagers that I would choose. But let me know what would be your villager lineup out of these villagers for Coffee Core. With the items and the villagers picked out, I moved on to create this. Kind of just an exploration of how all of these things would kind of combine with each other. The custom design outfits, a couple of little build ideas here and there. Of course, I had to put a large picture of Brewster on in the corner. Pearl, of course. Did I put Pearl in the villagers? Oh my gosh, I didn't even put Pearl for my top picks.
We have to make some changes.
Pearl has to be a top dreamy. Yes. And then I moved on to the map. So here is the quick little map. Actually, it wasn't quick at all. I really labored over this. So designing this map was a bit of a challenge. I really struggled with picking out exactly what I wanted to have on the actual map. I knew 100% that I wanted to have a coffee cup in the terraforming. You get that little swirl on the top. The little pond would be, you know, the coffee inside. I thought it was super cute. And then I also wanted to have a hiking trail. So I put in a couple little coffee beans as kind of some terraforming that you can work your way around as you're going through a little hiking trail. Here are the builds that I would ideally like to have on a coffee island if I were to make one. So the one thing that I knew I wanted to have on this island was a tiered neighborhood. I am obsessed with it. I've never had a tiered neighborhood, but I feel like this kind of an island would be perfect. You could just have little seating areas, little chairs and tables, very cutesy, match the flowers to each one of the villager houses, give them a different espresso machine, that kind of thing. I think it would be so cute. Also, I put a farmer's market because it is a fall island. So I feel like the farmer's market, kind of like you're walking through with a coffee in your hand, would be super cute. And the entrance. I really love Okanda's entrance, which was the only fall island that I've really done to this point. Having fake buildings all along this front entryway would be a really cozy autumn vibe. And then I got my house very near to the entrance here. I think it'd be cute to have it up a little incline, and you could do some kind of a cafe there as well. On the beaches, there are a couple of builds that I've put in just to the front beaches, which are the easier ones to decorate. I've got a little bar down at the bottom here, and then I've got a imports area, which could have just like a lot of coffee bags, a lot of coffee plants. They're bringing them in via Cabin's Dock. And then on the other beach, there would be a roastery. So this is where the coffee is roasted. Again, lots of bags of coffee, a lot of crates, that kind of thing. I think it'd be so fun. I also have a giant canal street that leads up to the museum, which is on the coffee cup terraforming. I want that canal, and I'm imagining it, I'm picturing it. It's basically created already in my mind. We also have a little cozy shopping district with 2 inclines. The Able Sisters and Nooks are stacked on top of each other. We also have a coffee trucks area. So there are a lot of coffee truck builds that I saw on Pinterest. I knew I wanted to feature this on the island. And I put an office in the back because when I worked in an office, I really associated like food trucks and like coffee and cafe culture with working in an office. It was just all part of it. You would go for a quick walk with your coworkers down to get a cup of coffee, that kind of thing. And it's really fun fond memories of that time working. There is a museum and gallery, and then the library and study area. Coffee and academics are pretty intertwined, and it's a super cozy vibe, so I would love to have a library on this island and a little hiking trail, because I feel like getting a coffee and going for a hike, that's also a vibe. Maybe not the best thing to keep you hydrated on your hike, but it's definitely a vibe. And that is pretty much it. Again, here is my in real life inspiration for this island. And here is the color palette over all of these different things that I've created for this island. The color palette I tried to keep very consistent. I love how the villagers incorporate into this color scheme and their houses as well. And I feel like the color scheme is what anchors it and sets it apart from just a regular fall island, adding in lots of pops of green and really bringing that like life back into it. I feel like you could add a lot of the plants. I didn't actually add like any flowers on here, but anything that's red or very lush feeling, like I feel like the mums could work really well on this island. The yellows, the greens, of course. So with all of these mood boards created, I hope that this is inspiring to you, no matter what kind of island you're doing. If you are going to make a coffee themed island, or if you have already, let me know down below. I would love to hear about it. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Bye, everybody. And if you're interested in any of the resources that I've shared today, I did create an entire Pinterest board on this theme, and you can check it out in the link in the description. And of course, all of the custom designs that I showed were on the Pinterest board. So if you're interested in any of that, that's the best place to find out. And if it's not answered there, then leave me a comment and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Okay, bye.